are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Yes, sir. What is up to the up-tempo gang? What's up to my Auburn family? Y'all know the deal. It is Sunday morning. That means that I am here live with my guy, Nick Frazier. We had to bump it back a little bit because I was up late last night, but we got a good crowd already piling in here. Y'all know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. I have already shared this out on social media, so all you got to do is just like that tweet and retweet it. Or Facebook, wherever else you do your social media, share us out over there. Nick, good morning, my guy. Super Bowl Sunday. We're here to talk about some Auburn football, and we will make some predictions at the end on the big game. How we feeling, baby? One more football game. One more football game today. And then we're officially
more football game.
Ugh.
God, that just sounds depressing a little bit, doesn't it?
It is very, it's very depressing.
Yeah, to be more careful, man. But nah, man, it's great. I'm feeling great, man. Happy to be here. Tried to get an assignment turned in real quick so I don't have to worry about it during the game. So, but we good to go, man. We good to go.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, got a lot to talk about today. Auburn receives a crystal ball from one Hueytown defensive lineman, Donovan Moore. We will speak on that briefly. Like I said, we will give some Super Bowl predictions at the end. A little discussion popped up this week about play calling. We will get into that. But where I want to start, and I see you guys in the comments, keep following in. We'll definitely get to your comments here shortly. Let's give some memberships away today. It's been like 3 or 4 live shows since we've had a membership gifted. Let's do some of that. Get your super chats in here and we'll get to your comments, all that good stuff. Listen, Alex Golesh met with Andy Staples, or had an interview with Andy Staples this week. And shout out to Andy Staples. We talked to him a couple weeks ago in Mobile, Nick. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
And he said something. And look, I'm gonna say some things today, Nick. I might need you to rein me in a little bit.
Okay.
Because if there's a way to my heart, it's saying F everybody.
Yes.
That's how you get me.
Yes.
But here's what I'm here to say. If you didn't see the clip, and I'm sure most people have seen the clip, Alex Golesh went on with Andy Staples. He was asked about, I guess there was a previous interview that he had done when he was at South Florida, where he had some kind of picture or something behind him that was the chemical symbol for iron.
Yeah.
And it was it F3? Like, you got me talking periodic table now. Things could get dangerous. Fe. And Fe. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Fe. And he was asked, what does it stand for? And he said, yeah, F everybody is kind of what it means. Kind of, F everybody that ain't here. And Auburn fans for a long time have always, I remember the shirts that went around a couple of years ago, Auburn versus the world, Lee County versus everybody, all of that kind of stuff.
State of Auburn.
Yeah, all of that, man. And so there's kind of been that mindset a little bit amongst the fan base already. Now, what I'm going to say is, one, it hasn't been aggressive enough. It hasn't been aggressive enough. Auburn and Auburn fans, and not all, but like just the environment in total and what's kind of happened the last couple of years, it reminds me a lot of I'm not even going to call them out. There's a high school in my area here that spends more time decorating the visitor side than they do the home side. Like you'll look across the field and it'll be, welcome whoever they're playing. Hope you have a great time at our high school, like all the, and it's like, you had your own cheerleaders and stuff make that, and like it just overly welcoming. And yes, and Auburn, well, quite frankly, a little bit overly welcoming too much.
Okay.
I mean, Alabama's won their last 3 trips to Jordan-Hare. They've pulled out close dubs every time. Man, we just so daggone close. But we gave them a fight. And then there's this always, we have class, and if you come to Auburn, I hope you have a good time. Listen, man. And the creed, y'all know how I feel about the creed. I don't care. It ain't the 10 Commandments. I don't care. Listen, F everybody, bro. F everybody. And I'm going to keep making this point, Nick. You know how much I hated Hugh Freeze's comments about Georgia his first year? Well, we don't want to hate anybody. We don't want to hate anybody. We are all children of God, and we're just going to play a football game. I don't know why I would hate them. as if Auburn was about to take up sword and shield and have a battle at the hot gates with the Georgia Bulldogs. Like, it was just an absurd comment. It was just an absurd peek into this man's soft mindset. Well, but it wasn't a football mindset. That's a mindset that you need to have when you're out in the street passing out blankets to the homeless. But we're playing football. And Auburn has lost its edge over the last 5 years. Auburn has lost its bite over the last 5 years. And you see it. You see it play out in the fourth quarter time and time again. Go back to the summer.
Okay.
Go off the field.
Okay.
Auburn was trying to follow the rules. Auburn was trying to follow, and I'm going to put it in quotation marks, Nick, the rules of rev share and salary cap. I'm walking around SEC media days talking to these other teams, these Georgia media people, and they're like, ain't no damn rules. I don't know what y'all are doing. The Alabama people are like, yeah, we're north of 25 million. Nothing's going to happen to us. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, Auburn's going to be wrong on this. Like, and we were, right? Trying to follow the rules.
Yep.
Nah, bro. If everybody was 2010. If everybody, you know what? No comment. Cam Newton just had 500 total yards. What about his eligibility? No comment. I'm gonna keep drinking my Cam juice. No comment. That mindset. And before I pass it to you, Nick, here's why it's important to me in a couple of reasons. One, it's just needed at Auburn right now. Maybe 7-8 years ago, I wouldn't necessarily feel this way as strongly as I do. But the problems that currently face Auburn,
okay,
you have to say, no, F you, F that. I don't have time to worry about this, that, and the other. We're going to win football games. F everybody. The time for Auburn trying to be a good little soldier in the SEC. What's that got us? What's that got us? What does that get Auburn? You know what it gets you? It gets you on the wrong side of a review. You know what it gets you? It gets you an apology note the next day for an illegal touchdown. That's what it gets you.
Good little soldier.
If you fall into line, this is the way the world works. Who gets taken advantage of at your job? The guy that works the hardest, the nice one.
Yeah.
The guy that'll, I'll go do that. Yeah, I'll go do that. Yeah, okay. He's the one that ends up getting his break cut short. He's the one that gets called every time when he's off. Can you come in today, man? Somebody else called out. And he comes in and nothing ever, he reaps no benefits from it.
When he retired, he get a gold watch. He get a gold watch when he retired.
Yeah. Here's a little bonus, but they've got your clock. You got your clock with your name on it.
And a cookie cake saying happy retirement.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. thanks for killing yourself from the time you were 19 years old to 65. Yeah, Auburn's been that guy. That's who Auburn's been. And sure, behind the scenes, we've raised a fuss and blah, 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 about the calls and all that. Well, it keeps happening. And so, one, with everything that's going on at Auburn right now, it's needed. But two, Auburn's position in this league by default should be F everybody. Because Alabama and Georgia are running this league right now, and they're your biggest rivals. And the people that they put in Texas and Oklahoma are massive programs that have big-time resources and everything like that. And the SEC's already shown Auburn they value Oklahoma more than Auburn. Tell me something different. What else am I supposed to take away from that Norman, Oklahoma game this past year? So
great analysis.
So if you're Auburn, the only way to be is to have this hard ass edge and to come out and say it, because I'm sure that behind the scenes, guys like DJ Durkin, like there's dogs, right? Yep. I'm sure behind the scenes, there's guys in the administration and John Cohen and these guys are like, man, F this, like we're tired of this. For the head coach to come out and say, no, this is the mindset from here on out. I think it speaks volumes. I think it's needed. And I hope, like, the main thing is that it seeps into the people that matter. The assistant coaches, everybody involved, the players and all that. But it would be really cool, too, if it seeped into the fans, Nick.
Yes.
That would be really tight if our fan base kind of said, you know what? Enough with patting people on the butt as they walk out our stadium after another loss. Let's actually make this a miserable place for the opposing team to come into. And I'm not saying it being a dickhead to people, but like, you get what I'm saying. Every time people come to Jordan Hare Stadium now, they leave going, man, that was a great atmosphere, and we had an awesome time. I'm sure you did, because you had a miraculous win in the fourth quarter, and we're all just sitting here going, oh, man, goodness gracious. Well, I had fun. Eagle flew good. Like, when I heard him say that, Nick, everything that has happened in the offseason in terms of just like what we're learning about this guy, I'm gonna say it right here on the show, man. I'm bought in. I'm 100% bought in with this Alex Golesh thing. This is exactly what Auburn needed.
To your point, I was 100% bought in on Alex Golesh about 2 weeks after he was hired. When I started doing research on the guy, and I started hearing him talk about how detailed and how processed and how everything he wanted to be. But then when I saw the video of him and the FAU coach,
yeah,
and when I actually learned the backstory behind that video, I said, "Oh, we got a dog." That's when I was bought in right there. That's when I was at that point in time when, like, because sometimes I like to hold grudges. Sometimes I like to hold grudges sometimes. You know, not all the time, but sometimes when something gets underneath my skin to the point to where I'm just like, I'm gonna remember that. You know, I gotta remember that one. And that's what he did. He basically was like, all right, y'all did this. So guess what? I got 365 days to keep this on my mind for you in particular. You in particular. I got this on my mind about it. And he came back and did what he did, you know, did what he said he was gonna do. To your point about the F everybody thing, man, I 1,000% agree with your analysis on that, because I've always stated that it always felt like Auburn was just too nice sometimes. It just always felt like we was just too nice. We was just like, yeah, man, appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Man, instead of just being like, man, it's and that comes from the head. That comes from the head of the snake. That's what it comes from. And when the head of the snake sets a I don't want to say a standard, but sets an environment. Let's use that word. Sets an environment to where, you know, in the game of football is a violent game. It is. It is just what it is. It's a game where people get hit, people get hurt, people gonna get. It is what it is. But when you set the environment to where it's always welcoming to everyone, and you don't really have some type of edge to you to where you're sitting here saying, man, this team has been beating us so long. What are we gonna do about it to come in and actually change that? How like everybody always like it's easy to explain, but it's hard to explain, because when you get into it, when you've been in it so long, you almost get adapted to it. You almost be like, oh man, you know, it's just bad. But the environment, man, the one thing that Alex Golesh is gonna do is he's gonna change the environment around Auburn. Is what he is. He's nice, but it ain't overly nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when he sat here in a press conference and was like, when he said this in a press conference to the media, he was like, I don't trust anybody in the building right now. Hell, it's hard for me to trust people early. When he said that, I said, okay, I like this. I like this. He's direct. He is not sugarcoating it. He's not beating around the bush with it. He is just like, look, man, I'm approachable, but I got a job here of what I'm trying to do, because if I don't do my job, then two things happen. One, I'm not here. And two, the promises that I made fall on deaf ears and they're false, is what it is. And then we're still losing. So my thing is, man, I just feel like when you have a guy that comes in and he sets he resets the standard, he resets the environment, eventually the players that he started recruiting, the players that he started bringing in, as he said in his press conference this week, relationship-driven recruitment builds relationship-driven development is what he said. To that point.
Yeah.
When you start having that, then the guys you start recruiting into the program start to get the mindset that you have as a coach that starts to seep down, like you said, into the assistant coaches, start to seep down into the support staff, start to seep down into the training staff, and it's just going to seep down into every single part of the program to where now you have a resilient program. You have a program that is going to go out and do exactly what it needs to do to win games. If something bad happens to us in the game to where we lose the game, now that bad sour taste that's in the coach's mouth is the same thing that's in the whole team's mouth, and now everybody feels some type of way about it, and we got to get our revenge for it. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited to have the edge. That's what it is. Yeah. Auburn edge. Hashtag Auburn edge. Let's start using that. Is what it is. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, you're preaching this morning, buddy. And the thing too is that it's like, okay, so it's just it's hard to make these comparisons and not look back at what was. So we'll just go back to like the last three head coaches at Auburn prior to Alex Golesh.
Okay.
Gus Malzahn, good coach.
Guy.
Yeah, good coach, nice guy. Did he had a little bit of that? Like I remember the Georgia game was like we beat the dog crap out of,
bull crud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that bull crud.
Yeah, but there wasn't that bite, right? And it became a little stale as it went on. And I will always say I think Gus's main issue was none of that really. It was offensive line recruiting and development was atrocious at the back end of his tenure at Auburn. And it got to the point to where teams were screaming out plays, and we had no. I mean, I'll never forget the Tennessee game. Bubble screen, and we ran the bubble screen. I was like, oh my goodness. So those were the main things, but like there wasn't that added. Like you look at Kirby Smart, and you look at him at a practice or on the sidelines, and just the way he runs his program in general, you wouldn't know the difference between if this was this guy's first year, or this guy's 12th year, right? Like it's the same. It's that insane FU intensity level. We're gonna win at all costs. That's what we're here to do: win football games, nothing else.
Is it?
Brian Harsin talked like he had that, but he didn't actually have it, right?
Did he not have it?
No, he didn't have it. Listen, if Ryan Williams, and regardless of how this year went, think about him in the high school recruiting, the prospect that he was. If Ryan Williams is walking around the facility and he can't find Brian Harsin, Brian Harsin don't have it. I know of multiple stories of recruits trying to find him, and they couldn't find him.
Yep.
So you ain't got it. You ain't got it, bro. You don't understand it. You ain't got it. And then with Hugh, like I think Hugh, again, good person, well-intentioned. And I could even understand why in his mind, building a program, you do need these thoughts of the week, word of the day. This is what we're working on this week. But when you just lose close games 3 years in a row, all of that becomes super stale quickly.
Yes.
And it's hard to continue to, like, if you're a football player and you're sitting there on Monday and you're like, what gratitude? We're doing a sermon on gratitude. Bitch, I want to win a football game. Straight up.
I'm gonna say this. Sometimes things don't have to be said. Sometimes it shouldn't just be like, and sometimes it should just be automatically known. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you don't understand what I'm saying, let me try to explain it. So if you just go out, like I'm gonna give you two examples. If you go out and you get dog walked by a team, right? Team just come out and just straight dog walk you. There should be no motivation the next week to come out and destroy the next team. Like, we just got embarrassed on national television in front of a stadium of 60, 70, 80, 90,000 people. Like, what other motivation do you need? than to go out there and make that right. And then keep that on your mind, because more than likely, you're going to probably see that team either later on in the season, or you definitely going to see them the next season. So sometimes words don't even need to be said. You just, that's just all right, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah, we're going to be at practice Monday. We don't need a sermon Monday morning. Let's go to practice.
We don't need gospel music playing before practice. No. Just, hey, let's just go out here and get our minds reset. But see, the thing about that part too is that comes from the head coach. That comes from the head. You know what I'm saying? That comes from the head. The second thing is too, if we go out here and have a close loss, or we're in the game and there's a close loss, that should hurt even more, because now you sitting here saying, man, we did everything that we were supposed to do, but something at the end we didn't do correctly, or it just didn't go our way. Now we need to go in and tune in more intently on the process of what it is that it is going to get us there. Like sometimes some things just don't need to be said. Sometimes when you have leaders on the team that understand exactly what it is that needs to be done, it doesn't work. No words need to be said. No words need to be said. Just come out and just perform and just get better the next week. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I think Alex Golesh is the guy. I think Alex Golesh says what he said, what he feels on his mind. I believe he believes what he says. And Auburn Edge, man. Hashtag Auburn Edge. Let's start using that. Hashtag Auburn Edge. Let's go.
I'm with it. And look, again, I want to say this here. 2 of the last 3 coaches at Auburn, I think, were like really good people. And I don't think that
2 of the last 3.
I don't and the last one, like, I think that he was well intentioned. I think that he had good intentions. And I don't think that, like, his mission, like, I don't think that I'm personally and in my heart, I'm not knocking his mission of trying to make young men grow into better men. And like, I firmly believe that he took that seriously, and he intended to do that. That's why he had these words of the day and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm not knocking that mission. It's a great mission. It's a much more important mission than winning football games. However, you're making $6 million plus a year to win football games. And honestly, like, again, at some point, all of those things are going to fall on deaf ears when you just lost another game by 2 points, 3 points in the fourth quarter. It's like, hey, we don't need to do this song and dance. Like, right? Like, this week, it just needs to be 100% football. Let's go. And the no more Mr. Nice Guy, the loveliest village on the plains. I hope you come in and have a good time. We just want the eagle to fly well. Well, I got to hang out with the Auburn family this week. Like, man, enough of all that, bro. Enough of all that. And that mindset has slowly seeped in because of the losing, and because the last 2 head coaches in particular did not like it. I don't think losing bothered them the way it was supposed to. Here's how I can tell you Brian Harsin did not bothered by losing at all. Because man, this is the craziest thing I've probably ever seen a head coach do in any sport. When Auburn loses to Alabama, and I think he may have deleted his social media. I don't know. I'm blocked. But he took, when Alabama beat Auburn in the Gravedigger game, the 4th and goal from the 31, he posted a picture of him in a Bama shirt on his social media. A former Auburn coach that lost to Bama in 3 overtimes in his 1 Iron Bowl. You'll never see Gus Malzahn wear an Alabama shirt. You would never see Tommy Tuberville do it. These guys got fired by Auburn. That when I saw that, I was like, okay, that tells me everything I need to know about him as a person and why it wasn't successful. I made so many assumptions on him, the human, when I saw that. That's the softest thing. Like, that to me was nuts. I was like, okay, dude, that's crazy talk. Even though it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out, I watched all these head coaches, like let's use Jimmy Johnson for an example. Jimmy Johnson, does he still not rep the U? Or, like, does he still not take his time at the Cowboys and say, we, us? Like, with your time running those teams, that you view that as a pride thing. I could never understand a former Auburn head coach putting on a Bama shirt to troll. Of course, that guy wasn't successful at Auburn, dude. So, and then we've already discussed a lot about the last guy and just not, for whatever reason, just not having that extra edge, that extra bite. I'm telling y'all, that ain't AG. That is not AG. This dude is about his business. He's about winning football games and nothing else. It has not been the case at Auburn, and at least since the COVID year. And it is going to be a much needed change on the Plains. A change that had to happen if Auburn was going to win. I firmly believe that, dude. Like, I think there are good coaches out there, like, that have a more laid back, because like you don't have to be a hard nosed kind of guy. Like, you don't have to have Alex Golesh's mindset to just be a winner, right? Like Tony Dungy's won Super Bowls. He's very much a player's coach, a very much laid back, I'm never going to yell kind of guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was the only coach. He was able to get Peyton Manning over the hump, and obviously he's a Hall of Famer and won a lot of games. There's multiple ways to be successful, but I firmly believe that the current situation at Auburn can only be rectified with an FU mindset. I just like with what Alex Golesh's mindset and mentality is. I think Auburn's hole is so deep, and this program has lost its way so much. They forgot how to win. Auburn football, Nick, you say it every episode. The 13th most winningest program in college football history. They forgot how to win. And the only way that, in my opinion, and I could be wrong on this, we're gonna find out here. The only way for Auburn to get up out this hole is there's got to be some bite to it, dude. There's got to be some dog in it. That's just kind of where I think this, because this program has lacked juice for 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I want to two questions. You mentioned you spoke about Kirby Smart, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First question. Does a coach when you were comparing and contrasting Hugh Freeze? I'm suggesting you were speaking about Hugh Freeze when you were saying the type of situation. We use the style of Hugh Freeze and the style of Kirby Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Does the style of trying to build a player, is that even important as the coach when your job is to win football games? Because from the outside looking in, it looks as if that's not what is happening at Georgia. At Georgia, it just seems like we're just about winning football games. How can you come in and help us win football games? You know, and along the way, if not win, but if you know, we can get to the point of being able to, you know, kind of mature and things, stuff of that nature, that's great. Now, to your point about Brian Harsin, I slightly disagree. All right. So Brian Harsin came in, I think what was he like 6-1 or 6-2 as the starter? I mean, as a head coach in his first couple of games. And then he had the back slid off.
Yeah.
Then everything that happened during the offseason of allegations and all type of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would you not? And I know where the rebuttal is probably more likely going to come from fan base when I say this. Well, Auburn tried to go out and hire Bobby Petrino behind Tuberville's back, and he didn't do anything. Okay, that's business. But when you try to personally try to damage the character of someone, would that not sit differently with you as a person coming from I'm guessing the institution that's employing you? Like, would that not sit differently with you? Like, you literally tried to ruin my reputation, or people that were surrounded or adjacent to this said institution or said entity tried to ruin my reputation by saying something that wasn't true. And then it almost felt as if like it was trying to sabotage my job at the same time. Would that not feel? Would people not feel differently at some point in time in that type of way? I agree. I agree with you on the fact of, was he an X's and O's coach? Yes, I believe he was a great X's and O's coach. You saw that with him on the offensive side of the ball at Cal. That shit, Cal put up numbers. They just didn't have a defense to do it. On the recruiting side, I totally agree with you there. So as an X's and O's guy, I think Harsin is actually pretty decent. But when you add in all of the other things that surrounding that, is there a different outcome or thought process that people can think of when you see him do something like that? Is that his FU to that ecosystem of that previous university?
Right. Yeah. Listen, I'm not claiming that Auburn was 100% right in the way everything happened there. I think really the problem is that he never should have been hired. And I'm not even talking about from the football resume, like the way that process went down.
Agreed.
Auburn was at fault, right?
I hear what you're saying.
So, also, I don't think he did himself any favors. I don't think he was a very good employee, and it helps. We just saw it with Hugh Freeze. It helps if your bosses like you. It just does. It'll buy you a little more time if your bosses like you.
True.
If you come in and say F the bosses, you're gonna have a short tenure, right? It's not gonna last too long.
You got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it's a lot of that is like probably like your own personal. I'll say this, not to get too much into my own life or whatever. My freshman year, I went to a different high school than the one that I finished my sophomore through senior year at. And when I left the high school my freshman year, it was pretty much related to issues with coaches and the sports staff. Okay. And then I transferred schools and went to a much better everything, like academics. It's a better situation for me, right? So, and it was also like family stuff, what parent am I living with and all that. What I'm saying here is, though, I didn't leave the school. My freshman school was Pace High School. I didn't leave Pace in good graces. Like it wasn't a nice situation, right? They tried to mess with my grades, all kind of stuff. So now I still played athletics for that school for 1 year, and I still cared about my games for that team. I don't like that school now because of the way things went down. But in terms of like, I would never go where their rival Milton High School type stuff, just to troll. Like, nah, man, I played for that school for a season, and I value the battles that I was in with my teammates and my coaches. I like, now, did I want to beat them when I played sports at my other school? 100%.
Gotcha.
But I would never be watching one of their games versus another school and put on that other school's stuff just because I hate them. Like, to me, it's like, that's just dumb, bro. Especially if you lost to that team. Like here's how I view that. You're Brian Harsin. You had Alabama dead to rights. You had them dead to rights. 3 overtimes at home. You didn't get it done. And then you throw on their gear to troll. You didn't get it done when you had the opportunity. So you're trying to troll something that you weren't even able to accomplish when you were in charge of it. Like, to me, it just shows me a side of him to where, that I don't want that to round that back into our conversation here today. I don't want that mindset anywhere near Auburn. I need people that are 100% locked into what we got going on, man. Like, every coach, or not every coach, but we see coaches get fired all the time. The Buccaneers canned John Gruden. He's still at Tampa, showing love. It's the same owners. The same owners fired him that own the team now. He's still out there waving flags, and that did not end well. But he still has an appreciation. He's not out there when the Bucs lose to the Falcons. Let me throw my Falcon stuff because they fired me. Like that. I can't rock with that, dude. It just shows me a lack of respect of, like, yes, you were only the coach at Auburn for a season and a half.
Yeah.
but you should value the battles that you were in as Auburn's head coach. And should you just love Auburn? And like, no, I'm not saying Auburn was perfect in all of that. But what I'm saying is these last couple of guys, I see holes. I see the holes. I see why you weren't successful here. Because, and we'll flip it all the way back to Pat Dye. When Shug Jordan retired, Auburn got lost in the sauce. Auburn got lost in the wilderness. There was a way that Auburn did things. There was a way that Auburn won football games. Then they lost to Alabama 9 years in a row. And some of those were blowouts, but a lot of those were heartbreakers, as they usually are in the Iron Bowl. And Pat Dye came in. How long is it going to take to beat Alabama, Coach? 60 minutes. That's the 1980-something version of F everybody.
Yep.
We don't, you know what? Paul Bear Bryant, they're the greatest program, blah, blah. I don't care. It'll take us one football game. We just got to play a good football game.
That's it.
And then you saw what that change of mindset did for Auburn moving forward.
Yep.
It shot Auburn off, and Auburn was winning. It was at least competent all the way up until 2020. There was little bad years in there, but Auburn always bounced right back the next season and got it right. So I think that what Auburn fans really want, what my generation of Auburn fans really want, is something that we've never had, and that's consistency. There's always been these big pop years. 8-5, then 14-0. It's like, or 13-0. Let's get to where we're winning 8, 9, 10. Like, even with Gus, man, Gus would go 8-4, and then we'd go 7-6, and then we might go 10-4 and have a little bit of hope, and then it's back to 7-5 again and losing bowl games. So, yeah, the consistency, sustained success, and the only way that, in my opinion, that Auburn's going to get to that is this mindset that Alex Golesh is currently bringing, because Auburn is always going to be, in terms of like just resources and perception and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be a little bit behind Georgia and Alabama. Now that gap can be closed. That gap can be closed. We've seen that in our lifetimes. Like the gap has widened in my adult life, but in my childhood, we were ahead of Bama. And the Georgia thing was kind of like every year it would go back and forth. Yep. You would make there used to be an argument about what program was higher standing all time, Auburn or Georgia. There was a time when you could make a point that Auburn was ahead of Georgia.
Yep.
You can't do that because of the last 15 years, right? But so what I'm saying is Auburn can definitely close that gap back up. I'd love to go buy another Fear the Thumb shirt. Like it's possible. Auburn can do it. We've seen it happen. But right now, that gap is so massive that, in my opinion, there's a particular way for Auburn to get there. There's a particular mindset that Auburn is going to have to quit getting bullied. Because, Nick, when you get bullied, if you go to school and every single day somebody takes your lunch money, one of two things happen to stop it. One, you go to the teacher and you say, Miss Robinson, Alabama keeps taking my – well, let's do it this way. Mr. Sankey, they keep taking my lunch money. Now, a good teacher will come in and say, hey, stop taking his damn money. Stop taking his lunch money. Auburn's already gone to the teacher.
Already.
And said they're taking our lunch money. Guess what Mr. Sankey told us back? Sit down and shut up. Sit down and shut up. I will give you whatever incompetent refs I give you. And you can just deal with it. Oh, you think you got to scoop and score touchdown? No, sirree. I know what it looks like. I know when you watch the replay, you see Auburn running with the football to the end zone. It's a clear fumble. No one could even argue it's a fumble, but I'm here to tell you he was down because I said he was down. And you'll sit down and you'll shut up. Oh, an illegal play? Here. Give us 30 hours and we'll give you an apology post. Here you go. But you'll sit down and you'll shut up. At the end of the day, you still don't have any lunch. And then you go to Georgia. And we all know what happened there. And at the end of the day, hey, this guy can never even ref a game for us again. But you're still going to hold this L. you're still not going to eat any lunch.
Time out.
So finally, Nick, there's option number 2. Give me your lunch money. You're going to have to take it today. And you finally stand up for yourself, and you punch them back in the mouth. Auburn's that. We've been getting bullied. No one's coming to save us. The principal don't care. The teacher is the father of the bully.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
The only way for Auburn to get anything done is to say, okay, F you.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
That's why I'm
dead in the mouth. Never lost. LeVar Ball never lost.
I beat my
never lost.
One.
Never lost. That's what it is, man.
Am
never
I wrong
lost
on this.
But the thing, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. That's what it is, man. Like there is no need for me to come back and reiterate what you just said, because everything you just said is just all is 100%, 1,000%, 100,000,000% correct, man. Auburn just got to figure out a way, not figure out a way. Auburn has to just go do it. What is the swoosh Nike? What is that? What's their slogan? Just do it. Man, go Auburn. Just go out and just do it. Hey, we can say that now because guess what? Auburn's a Nike school. So guess what? Just go out and just do it, Auburn. Just do it. Just go out here and just show people, man, because the best way Auburn's gonna get that respect back is by going out here and beating somebody that people do not expect Auburn to go out here and beat. And doing it just so maliciously and just so methodically that people have to look at Auburn a different way. I echo back to, and I hate I keep doing this, but I echo back to that 2008 season when Alabama went into the Georgia Dome. I forgot who they played in the game, but they just went out there and just dominated whoever that was. And that game right there changed the course of how everybody viewed Alabama moving forward for the next 17 years. Auburn has that opportunity this year to go out here and beat a team and put people on notice, and they got the head coach to do it. They had that opportunity to go out here and beat a team and put somebody on notice and be like, look, you got to view us differently now. Not the same Auburn that's been the same Auburn for the past 7-8 years. It's not that. This is a different. It's different now. Like, and I wonder, and at that point in time, I hope when we see it happen, I hope everybody in America and in the college football world sees it and be like, oh, this is different. This is it, because the narrative around Auburn right now is still kind of like, man, if this team is good, they could potentially have a great season, every now and then and stuff like that. Nah, man, like you just said, man, tired of having every pop season every now and then. Let's go out here and let's be dominant and consistent all the time, bro. So I agree with you, man. You just got to go out here and just do it. Go out here and just take their lunch money. Stop being the dude that get pushed up on the lockers. Somebody jack you up and put you on the lockers. Bro. Go jack somebody up and put them on the lockers and be like, bro, we back.
And there's hockey fans will know this well. There's a sports analogy for this as well, where there are a lot of good hockey teams out there that can skate all around the ice and put pucks in the net, and then they're like second or third in the NHL in scoring, and then they get in the playoffs and they get punked in a 7-game series, and they're the better team, but they physically get punked.
Yes,
and mentally they get punked, and they don't win the series. Auburn's been getting punked physically and mentally. But getting punked mentally a lot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, what else are you supposed to call the Missouri overtime situation? The guy's standing on the AU at night in Jordan-Hare Stadium, Missouri, a Big 8 school, a Southwest Conference school. And they stand on our logo, on our field, tell us what they're going to do to us in overtime, and they do it.
Yeah. And then after the game, for the second week in a row, the head coach of the opposing team stands up on something inside of Jordan-Hare Stadium and celebrates. It's like, this is my, basically saying like, this is me right here. This is what I do. I do this. We did this. This is my house. It's disrespectful, man. It's disrespectful. At some point in time, man, as a man, bro, sometimes you just got to look at it and just be like, bro, nah, dog. Nah, you ain't about you. You not about to come into my house, kick your feet up, and then tell me to go get you something to drink out the refrigerator.
This
That's
is
a hell nah, dog.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
We watch
Bro,
the movie
what?
I want to watch. Yeah.
What? Another dude coming to your house, sit down in your favorite chair, recline his feet back, and be like, "Hey man, can you go give me a drink out the refrigerator?" In my house? Man, you don't get the hell out of what? Sometimes, bro. Sometimes you just gotta take the disrespect. You gotta find something and just be like this. Michael Jordan did it best. It became personal.
MJ it, bro.
It became personal.
Make something up.
It's personal. You know, that's what it became personal. You gotta have that mindset. It's personal now.
Yeah.
You know, man, like, dude, we can't have that now. That's wild. That's wild to me.
Jerry, whatever the New Mexico State coach.
Jerry Kill.
Wilcox from Cal, Drinkowitz from Stoops from Kentucky. Like, there's so many images flashing across my head of opposing coaches just victoriously fist bumping on their way out of Jordan Hare Stadium. I mean, Eli standing up on the damn side of the fence or whatever. It's just like, yo, what are we gonna do about this?
Bad,
the answer's been nothing. But Alex Golesh said, "It's F everybody."
Everybody, man.
All right, let's get to some of these comments, and then we're going to get to our next segment here. Rodney is here, as he always is, tuning in from the 251 Bruton, Alabama. Appreciate you, my guy. Yes, sir. Black Magic Racing. Karen Parker, what's up? Karen says, I'm actually going to make the Sunday morning show. Glad you had a late night. Yeah, we had a little bit of a later start, but a good crowd filing in here. Look at this, Nick. 100 plus on a February 8th Sunday morning college football show. I put it out on my ex earlier this week. I said, hey, the casuals, we'll see them in middle of July.
That's about right.
They'll come back.
Yeah.
And we love them. We hope they come back. We love them. Love you guys.
Love them all day.
You're not watching right now anyway, but we love you. The diehards, the locked-ins, the sickos are tapped in with us. Karen, you're one of us, and we love you, and we appreciate you. 365, 24/7. Can't get enough Auburn football. I love you guys. Miller says, Ward, damn, appreciate you, big dog, being in here, always rocking with the show. But, man, you've been with us for a long time, Miller. Appreciate you, bud. Halloween Gobbler says, War Damn Eagle. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I was saying I didn't want to demonetize myself. War Damn Eagle and Buck Thama. Listen. 3 in a row in football on our home field.
It's bad.
Back to back in Neville, giving up plus 90 points. And Auburn's ice hockey team lost 3-2 to Bama last night.
Wow. Really?
This got to stop.
We got to get this thing in control, man.
This got to stop.
Got to get this in control, man.
It's too much. It's too much. Stephen Pearl said, we didn't play good defense, and that starts with the coach. And I said, bingo. Lindsay, buddy, we can't be giving up 90. I know Nate Oates can dial it up on offense. We cannot be giving up 90 plus every time they come to Neville. Lindsay Turner says, good morning and war. Damn, everyone. What's up, Lindsay? You're always in here supporting the show, rocking with us. Ant is in here. Ant says, war damn Eagle gang. Ant says, it's time for Auburn to become the villain. And Ant, me and your brain were linked up because when Nick said, make a statement, Ant said Florida. And that Florida game's the first one that popped into my mind. The LSU would kind of be the one that put people on note. If Auburn came out and beat LSU earlier in the season. But I believe that game's early in the season. But the Florida one, we kind of know why. This one will be circled. We do want this one. And I'm with you. And if Auburn came out and smoked Florida, it would be like a kind of what's up. It would definitely be a what's up. And Ant says, great analogy. He liked the bully analogy. Appreciate you, Ant. Always in here rocking with us, brother. Karen says the only reason that officiating crew got fired is because Georgia complaining too. Yeah, that's the thing too that's so funny about that game is jeez Louise. That's the funny thing too about that game is that there were so many egregious errors against Auburn There was like 3 or 4 like really bad, egregious errors against Auburn, and then like 15 little ones against Georgia.
Yep.
It's like they were just a really, really bad crew. I would say that the ones that kind of changed the game went against Auburn. But like, yeah, that crew, and I will always say this, just flat out incompetency. Like when I watch SEC games that don't involve Auburn, I still leave going, what the hell is happening? The review process has gotten to be blown up and restarted because we replay stuff, we see stuff with our eyes, and they come back and tell us we didn't see what we saw. So I don't know what's really going on with all. I mean, like with the buzzer beater versus Mississippi State in basketball, or Texas A&M, excuse me. They said they had inconclusive evidence that the ball was still in Keyshawn Murphy's hands. Please present that inconclusive evidence. Please present it. They won't because they don't have it. Just.
But see, that's what I'm talking about when you were saying playing a nice guy.
Right.
Like when that happens, it's not just football, it goes into every other sport. You know what I'm saying? Like we sitting here seeing what we seeing with our eyes, and I know you see what we see with our eyes because you see it too. And we sitting here saying, like, come on, man, how? So you just literally can just, you know what, man? Like there's a whole reset culture-wise for the whole Auburn athletic department that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because this is a timeout now. This is a timeout, ladies and gentlemen. This is a timeout. This is timeout. Go back and watch the video. This is timeout. This is timeout. I was calling timeout. That's what I was calling. Timeout, man. That's a timeout, and he got away with it. Come on, man. Like this. It doesn't make sense, man. That's why Auburn needs to go out here and demolish a team that nobody expects them to beat this year. Put the college football world on notice. Is what you got to do. Put them on notice. Is what you need to do. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. You let a whole conference punk you as a school and as an athletic department.
A conference that you helped found.
That's what I'm saying. Dude clearly had the basketball in his out of his hands when the red lights came on. But no, it wasn't. No, that's not what it was. Man, you just got punked, man. You got punked. Auburn as an athletic department is getting punked by the conference. Is what is happening. And we sit here just taking it. We sitting here taking it belt BTA like no, I'm not going. No, I'm gonna say it. We sitting here taking the BTA like Michael Irvin giving it like Michael Irvin giving it to water, giving it to Gatorade coolers is what it is. Like, come on, bro, stop it, man. We got like, bro, stop. We got to stop being bullied and start bullying, bro. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
let's go, man.
Sub-Zero says, why don't they like ACC and show the replay center in real time? Look, I've long been in favor of this, and I know some people have been putting in the comments the college basketball does its officiating by region and it's not by conference. Well, the Southeastern region is the region that we're in. We see the same ref, so I'm gonna call him SEC. I mean, I see Pat Adams doing SEC games.
Yeah.
I see the same. I see the same crews over and over and over. So that to me, whatever, it's the same thing. Whoever's in charge of it, it's just a completely incompetent. This is a great question, Sub-Zero. I don't know. I have some theories because I think it would be. I have some theories,
some great theories
as to why, but the SEC is going to protect the team with the chance to still make the playoff. That much I feel confident saying. If you're 3-6 and you're on the way to maybe beating an 8-1 team and it's close, I can tell you which player that replay is going. And that's outside of Auburn. I just take Auburn out of that. Take a 3-7 Vanderbilt is playing a 9-1 Texas A&M. That 3-7 team's getting hosed on the replay. Trust me on that. If it goes to the SEC, if it goes to Birmingham, whatever team has a playoff chance and chance of making millions of dollars for the conference is the team that's going to make the call. That's my theory that I have watched very closely all the SEC games this year in football and saw that take place outside because I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing the all Auburn fandom. I saw that across the conference this year. I believe I'm right on that. I believe that's why
you are too.
I believe that's why you don't see it. is because
yeah,
their process would be exposed as to what's really going on. Lindsay says, good morning, and War Eagle. Appreciate you, Lindsay. He says, Dustin is honorable this morning. A little fired up, buddy. Listen, Auburn's head coach went on a national interview and said, F everybody. It gets me going. It gets me going. What did he say on Blades of Glory? Gets the people going. Rodney said, hit that like button. Please do it. Got over 115 of y'all in here at this point. Hit that like button. Huggy's in the building, encouraging people to hit the like button. Chopping it up with people in the chat. Connie is always in there. Connie is loving some Alex Golesh. Appreciate you, Connie. I am too. I told you. Love him.
I'm gonna say this. So Alex Golesh hasn't had many public press availabilities since his introductory press conference. So when you heard people when we were talking about him during that lull period, and people didn't actually get people was like, well, why you feel this way? I was like, well, I kind of went back and watched some stuff and kind of got his mindset of listening to what he said when he was at South Florida, listening to what he said when he was at Tennessee, listening to what he said in some interviews and how he does stuff. You know, look at that. But now that I think this interview that he did last week was his second interview and second public appearance with media in a week, in 2 weeks or something, a week or two. And now that people are starting to hear him talk more, you start to hear more people be like, I'm liking what I'm hearing from, I'm liking what I'm hearing.
And to that point, Nick, Josh Pate said whenever, I actually watched his video a couple of days ago. I watched it when it happened, but I rewatched it now that we're a couple months in because I wanted to see, kind of compare, now that we know a little bit more. But his first reaction video or on his show, whenever Auburn hired Alex Golesh, he specifically said, to your point, Auburn fans are going to hear this guy talk and fall more and more in love with him. And he said coaches our fans around the SEC are going to hear Alex Golesh talk, and they're going to start saying, I wish my head coach talked like that. And he nailed that because
exactly what it is.
He was right. He was right. Rodney says, nice guys finished last. Yeah, I mean, in the SEC, in the cutthroat world that is college football, Auburn played a basketball team yesterday that fielded a G League player. Stop trying to follow rules, bro. Stop doing it. And honestly, it feels to me like Auburn does a little bit better on the football side of things. Even in basketball, I'll go back to 2019, when there's a little controversy involved. A little controversy, and then all of a sudden Auburn starts all going off and winning games. Thriving in chaos kind of thing. Yeah, you can't try to follow rules that don't exist. Stop trying to follow rules that don't exist. There's no one to enforce them. Do whatever you got to do to win. What's up, Jay Money? Appreciate you being here with us on a Sunday morning, buddy. Hope all is well with you. Karen says we got ourselves a tough coach. That we do. That we do. And look, the football stuff we're still going to learn about. If his offense is going to work in the SEC, if he can game plan and the play call, there's so much that has to be answered that can't be answered in February. But there's a lot of things that we are finding out and learning about Alex Golesh here in real time that have definitely got me optimistic and bought into the vision. And it says 3 gospel songs and then future.
I can confirm that. I can confirm that.
So I got to say this. This is kind of like my playlist, honestly. If you if you put on my Spotify, you would be like, "What is happening here?"
Man!
So I'm not mad at it because again, this is how my play. You might get a gospel song, and then you might get hit with Boosie in the very next one. So I'm not knocking it. I can relate to it a lot, but in terms of I could not imagine running an Oklahoma drill and hearing our God is an awesome God, which he is.
He saw the best in me.
Which he is. He is. But at this current moment, yeah. You know what though? Some gospel songs, they're yeah, dude. But some of them, hey, we have a little church this morning.
Oh Lord, do it for me. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, it's not.
If it won't be nothing, it just won't get done. So Lord, wave your hands in the air. Do it for me. I'm telling you, man.
Let's go, Nick. Let's go, buddy. Nick, serenading the people this Sunday morning. You don't want to do one-on-ones with that in the background. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. You ain't trying to hit nobody with that going on. No, great song.
Oh my god,
Great
man.
song. Time and place for it. Time and place for it. That time and place is not goal line. They're not. Like,
we in the goal line. We here.
no.
Hey, imagine that though. Imagine that. Like, can we imagine that we in inside run, and the first thing that pop on is, I don't know, name a gospel song. I don't know. Just name a Christian song or gospel song that just pop in your head. And that's the first thing you hear. You be like, huh? What? Okay. I guess we'll just have to get through it. But you know what? That could build mental toughness. It could build mental toughness to get through it. I'm just playing. Let me stop.
It could. I mean, it didn't. Penn State was it didn't. Penn State was the definition of not defending your field. Dude, that game, what's so funny about that game was like, I was honestly, man, I was probably 25, 26, like something along those lines in Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point. So, and I've been to some, like obviously some cupcake games, but I've seen all like some big games. Some of those big Florida games I was at. I've been to some tight ones. I went to like half of the 2013 season, that Mississippi State game. Mm-hmm. In 2013, the Washington State game, both of those games we won at. They're forgotten because the back end was the prayer at Jordan-Hare and the kick six.
Yeah.
But that Washington State game, 2013, was down to the wire. Like they were about to score, and there was a pick in the end zone.
Yeah.
Mississippi State that year, the touchdown to CJ Uzomah.
Yep.
So that was the second game or third game that season. The point I make, like I've been to a lot of tight Auburn games that were big. Man, I had never seen Auburn lose in Jordan-Hare, to the point to where my family was like, "Can you please go this week? Like, we need to win." Like that's the way it had gotten to. Penn State shattered that. I was sitting in that stadium just going, "Oh boy."
The reason why that particular game to me was kind of deflating was because the year before Auburn went to Happy Valley in a night game and played very well on the road. And I and the funny part about it was, like, I remember going to work after that game that Saturday. I went to work that Monday morning, and I was talking to a coworker. He was an Auburn fan, and we were sitting there talking, and we was like, "Man, you know what? Auburn lost the game, but I'm watching the game, and I'm sitting here saying, yo, Auburn had a chance to win this game for real, like against a very quality, big time opponent that a lot of people say is a national contender." And I'm sitting here saying, yo, like, this is different. Like, this feels different, especially in that game on the road. But then to come back the next year and to just get blown out, like, I was like, man, that just didn't feel right. That didn't feel right at all.
Yeah. You know, the thing that was funny about that first night game at Penn State was, you remember we had the goal line fade.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix to Kobe Hudson. Everybody was like, "Why didn't you hand it to Tank?" And after the game, Harsin got asked, "Why didn't you? We're throwing goal line fades on 3rd and 1 here." And he said, "Yeah, I got to go back and watch the film. I got to go back and watch the film, and then we can discuss more on that play call and why that play was called. I don't have an answer currently." Then the Monday presser kicks off.
Yeah.
And the very first
question.
"Hey, coach, so about that third," and his face was just like, "Oh, man, I'm not in Boise anymore." They actually followed up. Flyboy says, "War Damn Eagle, hit that like button." What's up, Fly? Man, this is just your profile picture, brother. That is him too, by the way, Nick.
Is that really him?
He's confirmed. He confirmed that is him. So.
Oh wow! Shout out to that. That's dope, man.
It is cool. As somebody who doesn't even ride roller coasters at the fair, I see you, big dog.
Man, that's great, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. Is that considered? What is that? Is that like what is he doing? That's not. Is he parachuting?
To me,
is he jumping out of planes for real?
To me, he hooked his lawn chair up to a helicopter.
That's what it looks like, though. It looks like he's sitting like in a chair.
Yeah,
and he got like some parachutes attached to it. Like he jumped out of a plane.
Let us know, buddy, what exactly that is called. We are interested, and yeah, dude, like that's pretty cool, buddy. I don't have the balls for that. 9-time champion says, "As much as we think Golish link Golish with Sumrall, it looks like Arkansas is doing the same thing with Satterfield. They're salty, and no, we got the better coach." Yeah, I mean, Arkansas thought they had him lined up for sure. That's kind of it's kind of the way. It was it the middle of the week.
Yeah,
They were
the beginning of the week.
They were reporting that contracts were agreed upon, and then
Yep.
it was some rumors that he didn't like that it was leaked out before his last game. Turns out maybe things were down the road a little bit further with Auburn than we thought that they may have been, and maybe he was kind of holding out. And then he got that 1 o'clock in the morning call the shortly after the Iron Bowl ended, and we see where we're at now. Yeah,
Yep.
and I mean, look, Arkansas is just in a really really tough spot, and we'll see what they do with Satterfield, but they got to Arkansas is a team.
Silverfield. I think his name is Silverfield.
Silverfield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ryan
Silverfield.
Silverfield.
Yeah, from Memphis.
Yeah.
They got to decide if they want to win at football or not. Like as an administration, they got to decide if they're actually going to try. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not sure what they're doing over there. Mob Ties says, "Oh, I want to
shout out to Mob Ties, man.
I don't want to upset him. I'm looking over my shoulder, bro. If you got ties,
it's Jay Prince Jr. right there, man. It's Jay Prince Jr.
Let's go." He says, "No effing excuses. You are what your record says you are. We are a below average basketball team." I think Auburn's an average basketball team. Different discussion for a different day. And look, I'm going to say this. I had a lot of people request basketball for the members. We're requesting basketball, right? Last week, I did an entire basketball episode, Nick. It didn't even get 5 views.
Wow, man.
That's when we don't talk about that. I look like, for the record, I grew up playing basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. What y'all watch is what we talk about. So that's kind of the way that works.
Rest in place.
Yeah, no, I did two member pods last week. And we'll definitely have more this week coming up. I had a very, very, very busy schedule last week. Just literally didn't have any time for nothing. But yeah, I did some film breakdowns on like the incoming offensive linemen from the high school class, and those did quadruple the views of the basketball. So that is what it is, man. But I don't agree with you about the no excuses part. There are no excuses for losing to Bama at home back to back. Like I'm with you on that. We're not making excuses. It just kind of what we were talking about tied into our discussion of football, of just kind of accepting some things that go on. But I do agree with you, Mob Ties. Like there's a lot on the basketball side that could be talked about. Sub-Zero. It says, "Saying that thing."
No, man.
Karen said it sounded good, Nick. Karen said it sounded good.
Don't hype me up. Don't hype me up like that. Don't hype me up.
Oh, they ain't liked it.
Let me say cooling water. Shout out to Lee Williams. And Melvin Williams with cooling water, man. If y'all don't know nothing about that, bro, it's that cooling water. Shout out to it. I like
Paramotor
as well. Paramotor is what it is.
Paramotor. Okay.
Oh, I'm about to look that up.
Yeah, I gotta look this up, buddy. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Richard Reeves feeling very blessed this morning, Nick. Feeling very blessed.
Testify. That's what I'm talking about.
Go. All right, couple more things we're gonna get into real quick before we get out of here. Prediction coming in from Chad Simmons for one Hueytown defensive lineman Donovan Moore. Nick, this is a guy that Auburn's been after for a while. Listed as the number 1 player in the state, according to 247's composite rankings, the number 72 player in the country. They have him as the number 5 player in the state, the number 141 overall player in the country. Consensus 4-star across the board.
Yep.
6'4", 280 pounds. Auburn been on him for a while, and obviously same D-line coach, same defensive coordinator, but a change at the head coaching position. So Auburn kind of had to get in there, and I don't want to say reestablish the relationship, but he had to establish a relationship with Alex Golesh, and Warsaw, and that whole GM thing plays an aspect into recruiting now more than it ever did before. So, but an explosive player, Nick, one of the top players in the state of Alabama. Just your thoughts on the prospect and all thing. Like I would be shocked if Auburn didn't get this one done sooner rather than later. I don't know an exact timetable, but it feels like this is Auburn's to lose, and I don't think Coach Williams and DJ are going to fumble this one like that. This would be a big time, and Golish has talked a lot about recruiting the state, every Auburn coach understands the importance of recruiting. Most of them that come through understand the importance of recruiting the state and what it requires. So this would be a big one. This one would be a big time pickup for Auburn. Just your thoughts on the player and what this would kind of mean for the class. That's two
Yeah.
now. You got Israel Abrams getting a
Yes.
prediction, and then Donovan
Yeah.
Moore. So some big time prospects starting to get crystal ball in this 27 class.
Yeah. Before speaking of Israel Abrams, I'm trying to figure out how I can get to Illinois this season to go see him play in person.
Let's go.
Because I want to see him, and it's him and Andre Adams were the two quarterbacks that Auburn were kind of zeroing in on. But I think Abrams is the one that Auburn is potentially kind of leaning more like zero and honing in on. But I think they both are. I really want to go see him play in person as well. But to Donovan Moore, man, 6'4", 280-pound defensive lineman out of Hueytown. You look at the list of offers: Alabama, Florida, FSU, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Mizzou. Like every major school in the country wants this kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's the line of scrimmage is a premium. You know, so if you can if you can continually get guys in the interior defensive line that can come in and pan out. You know, you have a Jordan Crawford, you have a Malik Autry, you got a Tavian Branch in his class in his previous class as well. And if you can just keep Corey Wells, which I thought was not going to happen because he was committed to Texas for the longest. But when you are able to continually get, you know, quality guys on the interior and on the interior defensive line, it sets you up as well, get those guys and then develop them and then get them to the league. It sets you up as a place to where you can pipeline people to the next place. He would be a big get for Auburn, man. He could be a big get. And you know, we talked about you mentioned, you know, Auburn last summer when it came to the recruiting and how they was working things. I think a lot of those deals now, you're going to start seeing a lot of these guys commit earlier in the summer now than later because of what particularly happened with Auburn last year. Instead of just waiting, when you waited, you had a lot of guys that you could have been building relationships with that ended up going to other places. Sedarian Morgan is one of the main ones that I think about. You know, a guy that could have been in an Auburn uniform, even though everybody still had him, you know, paid to go to Alabama. A guy that probably still had some legitimate interest in Auburn. But because of the fact that you waited and things of that nature, and you know, you didn't make an offer that was that was competitive enough to others with other schools, and you was trying to retain what you had in the room. I mean, you had other guys went other places, and so that's the reason why you looked at the recruiting rankings and they just dropped. Well, Auburn was in the 80s at one point in time, if I'm not mistaken. So now I think you see this staff be way more aggressive. I don't think you see that happen anymore. I don't think it happened. I think you see them key in on who they want in this class. And as you said, Donovan Moore is a guy that I think potentially gets done sooner, very sooner rather than later. So yeah, I agree with you there, man. It's just a lot of deals are going to get done earlier in the summer. A lot of kids are going to be committed before their senior year of high school, and you'll know where they're going and things of that nature. But he would be a big get for Auburn's defensive line room. It would be major. You get the number one player in the state, top 100 player in the country. Yeah, it would be that would be a big get. Big get.
Yeah, it would send a big message, man. Yeah, it would send a big message because look, we're optimistic about Alex Golish's recruiting chops, but we don't know for sure what he can do as the head coach at Auburn recruiting, and you know, we're finding out in real time. If he's able to pull let's say that the two crystal balls that are out there.
Yeah.
4-star quarterback, Israel Abrams, top 300 player, and then top player in the state of Alabama, and a guy that more importantly, a guy that's at the top of your board.
Yes.
The guy that they've identified as this is the kid we can't miss on. We've got to get this guy on the defensive line. When you pull those off, that tells you something. So those would be two big pieces, you know, each on one particular side of the ball that would really kind of be solid foundations for this class, and Auburn could start building it up. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. This would be a nice one for Auburn. Hopefully, we are able to do an episode soon on Donovan Moore's commitment. And I know what some people are going to say in the comments. Well, does it matter? Is he even going to stay committed? Listen, like Nick said, they're going to commit earlier and earlier and earlier. We saw this last year. Your class is pretty much done.
Yep.
by the time the season kicks off.
Yep.
There's going to be some moving, obviously, but like you want the core of your class to be built. So yeah, you got to get started. You got to get started, and Donovan Moore would be a big time piece. Nick, Alex Golesh does a press conference this week. He gets asked by my guy Mike G about play calling.
Yeah, he did.
Who is going to be calling the plays? And he pretty much said it's going to be Coach Gordon. Coach Gordon's the play caller. He said, I will interject at times. And he said, in terms of when the drive is over, and I think this is a very important distinction. I saw some people who I love and respect didn't understand what was said, quite frankly. Gordon's the play caller is what he said. And he said, I'm the head coach. I do interject with opinions. He said it's a collaborative effort in between drives. The staff gets together and we talk about what we're seeing, what we're doing. And here's the really cool thing, man, is that football coaches in general, and I get it, like you kind of have to be to a certain extent. So I'm not knocking them, but they can be stubborn creatures.
Very.
We've seen this at Auburn. Coaches can be stubborn creatures, and you probably played for some coaches. If you're out there watching and you played sports, you probably played for some coaches that are just stubborn. I mean, I had a coach on 3rd and 7. We were running the damn toss. We were running the toss down by 6 on 3rd and 7, and guess what? We got tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But we were running that. We were running that toss.
Bread and butter.
Yes, sir. That's what we do, baby. We're gonna run it. 3rd and 7. We're gonna run it. 2-minute drill. Coaches can be stubborn. And so, but to have that confidence, to have that edge, everything we talked about today from Alex Golesh, but still the ability to take ideas, to put people in the position to succeed, to not, because a lot of what happened at Auburn on offensively the last couple of years is overlap. Is you built the game plan. Now let me call the plays for the game plan you built. And we can see how that went. And maybe and this whole first down play caller, I draw up 2nd down, he draws up 3rd down. Now we're on the headset all trying to figure out who's going to call this play. Like, we saw what all that led to. I think an important takeaway from Coach Golish's answer was it's not that. He was very clear. It's Coach Gordon, with me having some insight, which makes sense. He's the freaking head coach of an offensive-minded head coach. Now, also Gordon, when he did his presser, was very complimentary of like, when AG does pipe in, usually works. So I listen. But I think that my takeaway from it is whenever previous coaches at Auburn have tried to explain the play calling process, I've left confused. Like, wait, what are we doing exactly? AG was very clear in the process. What goes on, what happens. I think the roles are very defined.
Yep.
And I think you're going to see a much cleaner. I'm not saying every play will work. I'm not saying there won't be days where Auburn's offense struggles. I'm sure that'll happen. It's football.
Yep.
But I think the process, dude, will look a lot cleaner. Like, we're not going to be watching Auburn struggle to get a playoff in 25 seconds. Quite the contrary, actually. Because he, in his discussion, I thought this was a fascinating part of his press conference. In the discussion about running backs, he was asked about why so many bodies. He said, because we're going to do this. And I need fresh bodies that I can throw in real quick and can go, because we're going to go fast and we're going to use those guys. I thought that was very interesting as well. So an up-tempo, fast-paced offense. And that's another thing, too, he said, we don't have a lot of time in between plays to have chaos. It has to be quick and defined process.
Yeah.
Because we're getting plays off in 5-10 seconds. Like, the ball's set, we want to get the play off. So we don't have time to see what the offensive line coach thinks we should call right here. We got a system. We got a structure. And it's one for him and made sense. And he's been successful everywhere he's gone. So obviously we hope that can translate. But I left that press conference and his answering Mike G's question, and great question, Mike G. I left thinking or more confident in your big thing about Alex Golesh. We've talked about this on air and off air. Your big thing is the process-oriented thinking. That's the first I thought of you when he said that. I thought, man, okay, it's all the process.
Yep.
Everything's structured, everything processed. We're organized. This is the way we do it. And then I love the fact that like some people took him saying we collaborate in between drives. They took that as like, okay, everybody's got their hands in the in the fire and all. No, that's not what he's saying, man. That's not what he's saying. I left very encouraged by his answer to that question.
I did too. I mean, like and to a degree, that's kind of what it's different from what we were told in the previous couple of seasons. The previous couple of seasons, what we were told this person is responsible for first down, second down, third down, calling of the plays. And still to a degree, I still think the previous coach probably explained it wrong as well, because what he was trying to say, and I'm gonna give him some grace here. I guess what he was trying to say in those situations, the previous coach, was this is what this person is responsible for, but there will be a play caller during the game. I'm gonna give him some grace there, even though we know that's not what happened. But I'm gonna give him some grace, extend him some grace there. But now, when you look at what Coach Golish said, he was like, "Yeah, Joel Gordon is the play caller. He's a play caller." That's literally that was the first thing that came out of his mouth when he said Joel Gordon is the play caller, and he said, "We have the ability. I have the ability as the head coach to come in and interject and give my opinion. And during the in the middle of the drives, there will be a lot of talking on the headset of how it works. And sometimes a young coach can come in and give us a thought that we probably didn't even think of, and it could work. And sometimes it does." Is what it's I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of what he said, and things of that nature. You don't have to worry about 1, 2, 3 people calling plays. It's not going to look disjointed. It's going to look like one person is calling the plays, but that person is getting input from the people on the offensive staff of what they're seeing. And then he can take that information and then condense it to where it could potentially help you on the next drive. That's logical. I just think that's logical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is that not what we all do when we get, like, do we not get information? Like, if we do something, then we get information back from it. We take that information, analyze it, condense it down, and then figure out how to do something better the next time we go out. That makes all the sense in the world to me. Instead of saying, well, this guy's gonna call on this drive, this guy's gonna call on this down, this guy's gonna call on this down, and boom, now it just looks disjointed. But nah, man. But when it comes to the process thing, when it comes to Coach Golish and the process, when you have a process like that, what it does is it takes out a lot of the guesswork. Is what it does. It basically makes you be like, all right, if I continue to do this, more than likely 9 times out of 10, it's going to work. If I keep doing what I'm doing and I lean into what I know. There may be that one time where I'm not saying taking advantage of, but somebody gets the best of us. But majority of the time, it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about these guys being detail oriented, being process driven, just wanting to be elite, this is what it is. I think these guys have a great. I think I cannot wait until September 5th to actually see it in motion at Auburn in an Auburn uniform and see these guys do it. So we'll know exactly what it is that we're what we can expect for the rest of the season. So yeah, it made sense to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it, man. I'm excited about what it could be. I cannot wait for A-Day. I tell you that. I can't wait for A-Day to see this football team out there. Brand new team, brand new coaches, a lot of new. But I'm having fun, man. I'm having fun hearing Alex Golesh talk and hearing Coach Gordon talk and learning about these guys and what this whole process is going to look like. So really fired up. Got a good crowd in here today. Let's do this, Nick. Big game tonight. Let's make some Super Bowl predictions. Now, full disclosure, I have not watched a lot of these two teams.
Okay.
I mean, the Bucs played both of them, and one game went well, one game not so well. But I've only watched both of these teams a couple of times. I'm gonna go, Nick. I've struggled with this because
Really?
of how bad the Patriots offense was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I've struggled with this. I'm going to go 17-14 New England. I'm going to go 17-14 New England. And if Sam Darnold proves me wrong on the big stage, then I will humbly say I was wrong. But I think that this is going to be a low-scoring line of scrimmage game. And I like New England at the line of scrimmage more than I like Seattle.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I know. And I like the head coach at New England much more than I like Seattle's.
Okay.
So I think low-scoring line of scrimmage game. I think New England finds a way to win. I think it's going to be 17-14. And if it plays out this way, what's always funny to me is like the first half of the Indiana-Miami game, the national championship. There's a lot of tweets going out on halftime about, man, this is a boring national championship game. Respectfully, if you get bored by elite line of scrimmage play, you don't know ball.
I concur.
Just because a game is not 24-21 at the end of the first quarter does not mean it's boring. It just means that me and you are attracted to different kinds of football. Now, shootouts can be exciting, but anytime a football game gets over 40, I personally get disgusted. Like everyone loved the Vanderbilt game this year. You know, Auburn's turned a corner. We played better. I'm like, we played better offensively. We also gave up 40+ points, and I thought that was pretty disgusting. So, but it's some personal, like I wasn't bothered by the 3-2 game. It's actually one of my favorite Auburn games ever. I know a lot of people hate it. I thought it was kind of hilarious, but good defense. But yeah, I'm going 17-14 New England, and I say this, I probably watched 8 to 10 quarters of Seattle all year, and even less in New England. So take that for what it's worth. But I'm going to go Patriots by 3 in a low-scoring game, and I'll probably be way wrong.
To your point about games, the most exciting offensive games are not always the best games. I'm gonna just leave that at that.
For sure.
I totally disagree with you. Okay. I'm going the opposite direction here, man. Seattle's defense is relentless. Oh, man. Seattle's defense is good. It's really good. They're really good. So Seattle played the 49ers. Sorry, Tez. Tez is a 49ers fan. Seattle played the 49ers. Went to the stadium that they playing at today. Beat San Francisco. Bad.
Yeah, beat their heads in.
2 weeks later, San Francisco went to Seattle, and Seattle beat them again. Pretty bad. And it was all because of the defensive line play from Seattle. When I look at this game, I'm not high on New England's offense. I like Kayshon Boutte. I don't know if it's Booty or Boutte. In college, they were saying Boutte. So I'm going to say Boutte. Kayshon Boutte. He got a wide receiver that came out of LSU. I like him and things of that nature. But when I look at these two teams, and if I'm just looking at this in, just on paper and just what I've seen so far from them play, Seattle should beat New England by at least 10 points in this game. Is my prediction.
Okay.
Seattle should come out here and beat New England by at least 10 points. And so in that vein, even though this is the Super Bowl and, you have an extra long halftime because of the halftime Super Bowl and all type of stuff like that, and the game and there's always something that just happens weird in the Super Bowl. I don't think there's ever been a Super Bowl. Well, last year's Super Bowl, everybody was thinking the Chiefs were gonna go in and three-peat, but the Eagles went in and just dominated that game. I think that Seattle comes in here and wins this game 28-17.
Okay.
I got the same score that you have for New England, but I think Seattle comes in here and puts 28 points on them.
Okay.
Easily. So I got Seattle winning the Super Bowl 28-17, and then as soon as the Super Bowl is over with, they go up for sale. Somebody gonna buy them for an astronomical price because that's that. I mean, no, for real, that's the truth. They said as soon as the Super Bowl is over with, they're going on the market. Somebody got it. Somebody is trying to buy them. So Yeah, I got Seattle winning the Super Bowl at the end of this. When the confetti falls, it will be blue and whatever. What is it? Blue and gray, blue and white.
Yeah, gray and
Confetti
green.
falling.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's what I got.
let's go. You gonna be tapped into that halftime show?
Of course. Okay, there's 2 halftime shows, apparently. I'm still trying to understand this 2 halftime show thing. There's one with Bad Bunny, and then there's one with Kid Rock. I'm gonna be watching the one. I'm gonna be watching the one that the game is with. So, because I'm not changing. I'm not changing
the channel. Right.
I'm not changing the channel. Whichever one the game is on, that's the one I'm gonna be watching. I think it's the Bad Bunny one.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching that, I guess.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not know what Bad Bunny was until about 3 weeks ago. I didn't even know that this was a thing. Probably because I can't understand it, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to listen to music I need a translator for. That's not how I want to spend my 3.5 minutes. Yeah, here's what I've done since 2020 when my team was obviously in it. I think the Weeknd performed the 2021 for the Bucks. Okay, 2021, and I like the Weeknd, right? But I didn't watch that. So this is just me. I appreciate the pomp and circumstance that is the Super Bowl. I also hate a lot of it. Like, I care about to me, it's the championship of professional football. It's
True.
It's the highest level of football.
True.
It's the pros. It's the best of the best. And I am just such a football nerd, I guess, that all the other crap just kind of gets on my nerves. I'm like, well, this should be about the football, and we're talking about everything but. So the emergence of podcasts have helped out people like me tremendously. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a show on the internet, because I got a couple of ideas where I'm going to go, but I'm going to find some people that are talking about the football game, the world championship of the sport. And I'm going to watch that as my halftime show, an analysis of the actual football game. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've done over since podcasts have kind of become a thing. Even when I do like the performer, and I don't dislike Bad Bunny. I got no idea who he is. I couldn't tell you a song one way or the other. I think it's interesting that they would pick somebody that no one's going to understand, but cool beans, I guess. It's a very corporate thing and all that. I know there's been a lot of discussions about it, but yeah, I didn't know there was a Kid Rock one. I don't know where you got to go to watch that one. Yeah, I won't be doing it. I can assure you that I probably won't make it through 2 minutes of Bad Bunny. So we'll just find. I mean, the name alone is like, I don't think I'm your target audience.
I'm not either. But see, here's the thing. I'm not the target audience for either one of them, to be completely honest with you. My favorite halftime show was Usher, because Usher's my guy. Usher and Kendrick Lamar back to back, amazing. And the Dr. Dre one was amazing.
That was
to me. Those to me. The Beyonce one was cool in 2013. The Beyonce or Bruno Mars was cool too, but the Beyonce, Bruno Mars, and was that the Coldplay one? That one was dope. I think that was 2016. That was a dope halftime show. But I didn't know who Bad Bunny was until like 3 years ago when I saw him on WWE wrestling Damian Priest. And I was like, who is Bad Bunny? And I had to go look him up. I was like, oh, he's a pop star. I was like, oh, Spanish pop star. He's from Puerto Rico. So he's American, but because Puerto Rico is part of America, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it is what it is. But I was like, yeah, I ain't never heard a song from this dude. And that's when I got introduced to who he was. I was like, yeah, this is not my style of music. But it is what it is. But it's cool. But I mean, I ain't tripping on it. It's all good. I'll probably like I said, I'll watch it. I won't understand what's going on or what's saying or anything like that. But it is what it is. It's part of the pomp and circumstance of what the Super Bowl is, because let's just be honest, the Super Bowl is literally a fashion show, talent show, and a popularity contest wrapped around a football game. Let's just be honest about it. That's what it has grown to.
What's interesting about it And what's funny is like if you're a big fan of a team and your team is in it, it's like, again, and it was kind of sucked because it was the COVID stuff in 2020 when Tampa Bay went. But there's all this stuff going on, right? Halftime shows, commercial. There's all this stuff that has nothing to do with the game. And if you're a fan of Seattle or New England tonight, you probably, like, if you're a real fan, you probably could care less. It's like,
exactly.
Exactly. You're locked in. Like, I want to, like, you worry about the championship. So it's if you're a fan of the team participating, it's really, I noticed this the last time the Bucks were in. I was like, this is interesting because so many people care about all the other stuff, which they should. I get it. But me, I'm like, locked in on third down. Like, yo, we got to get to stop.
Got to get this because we're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and
by the way,
we wiped Mahomes off the map that night. Fly Butch said 117 people and only 35 likes. Come on, guys, show some support. Please smash that like button. Absolutely.
Like button.
Karen says Prince was her.
Yes, it was.
Purple Rain in the Rain, bro.
Prince. How did I forget Prince?
Oh
my God. How did I forget Prince?
That was it.
Man, you're right. How did I forget Prince, man? Let's not get into this conversation because we had it at one point in time. But shout out to Prince, man. Little Red Corvette, Kiss, Black Sweat. Man, shout out to Prince, man. Greatest musician to ever grace this earth.
He crushed it, bro.
Prince Rogers Nelson, ladies and gentlemen. Greatest musician to ever grace this earth. I'm just saying.
That's the best halftime show that I can remember. I thought the Bruno one was good. That's the best one that I can remember. And then I was way too young, but you can watch the replay. Like the Michael Jackson one's absurd.
Yeah, he just stood there for like 3 minutes. He didn't do that.
Yeah, like this guy is the greatest entertainer I've ever seen. Let's see. One more comment before we get out of here. Where I had it. Blitz telling everybody to like it. Voice of Reason says Golish is a hard-nosed player coach, which isn't easy to pull off. Very true. There's a fine balance there. And it does appear like he walks that line. So very excited for it. And Connie, the college football lover, says, I don't even know what time the game comes on. Football in it for her when Indiana won. She said, enough of this professional talk. She loves the college ball, and I love you, Connie. Appreciate you for being here with us, rocking with us. Good crowd today, man. Wasn't expecting this good of a crowd, being honest with you, on a February show. Nick has got Seattle double digits. I've got New England close. We'll see which one of us is right. I can tell you one thing we can agree on. We both believe in Coach Alex Golesh. Nick, what is going on this week over at the Water Cooler Talk, baby?
Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. If you have not already, we are dangerously close to 1,300 subscribers. Dangerously close. I think like we're less than 2 subscribers away from hitting 1,300, if I'm not mistaken. So please go over there, hit the subscribe button, like some of the videos, man. Watch some of our videos, man. Go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, as well. And then, of course, man, visit www.watercoolertalksports.com. Again, that is www.watercoolertalksports.com for all of your college football, SEC football, and of course Auburn football news in written form. So check out the website, man. We updated it as much as we possibly can daily, as much as we possibly can. I think there are some great articles over there. I think they are. I think they're great. So go over there and check it out. www.watercoolertalksports.com, man. Shout out to Dustin for always allowing me to come over here and talk ball with him, man. Appreciate you, man.
Enjoy another great episode. This week, probably tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. Y'all stay on the lookout. I'm going to drop. We're going to look back at our bold predictions.
Okay. Oh, let's not do this.
Hey, there's a couple of hits or close to hits. There's some misses. So we definitely. We're going to look back at the bold predictions for sure, man. Look forward to that. That'll be a fun episode. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Apple, Spotify, do the same things. Go over there. Follow everything Nick's got going on at Water Cooler Talk. Follow me on X at DMcShot28. Nick, we're dangerously close to 3,000 subs.
Dangerously.
Like, let's make it happen. Subscribe to the Uptempo Podcast today. We'll be back later this week. And as always, it is War Damn Eagle, baby.
War Eagle, man.